So on trips like this, you got to plan for a lot of different things, and so one of the little snafus on the way here is randomly my exhaust system decides to come apart, not on a four-wheel drive road, on a paved road, and so had to break out the baling wire and strap it back in place. Of course, the joint came apart right there, and I'll have to get that fixed. Well, for now though, it just sounds like a race car or really hillbilly. Well, I've been hunting hard for about 6 hours, and started out at Granite Lake and hiked up and around a ridge and into a draw where I saw a buck and a doe. Unfortunately, the buck saw me first and lit out. So then I continued on I wanted to check out Snow Canyon. Had some good vantage points there, and I could see a long ways, and I could see there was just no activity at all. So I kept on hiking. I hiked out all the way into Grouse Lake, another great spot to the glass and look for a long ways. You can see cover a lot of miles in these draws, and nothing, not a thing, no movement. I haven't even seen any sign, no tracks or anything. I mean, the only thing I've seen is coyote scat, so that may be why there are a few deer. Anyway, I'm heading back now toward Granite Lake, where I saw that buck this morning, and to see if sometimes they circle around and come right back to where they were. So it's about 3 o'clock now. Got a few more hours of daylight, so I'm gonna make my way back and just perch up on a ridge above that draw and see if I could spot him in that draw where I saw him this morning, and see if we can have some luck there. We'll see. This is day 2. Here we are at the end of day 2, and we're back at Granite Lake, where we stayed the first night, and hiked about, I don't know, 8 or 10 miles today, hard miles. Did a lot of glassing and different canyons and draws, and like I said, just the only buck we saw today was the first one in the morning, and one buck, one doe. So here's my camp for tonight. Just have the Marmot Sawtooth 15-degree bag inside of an SOL bivvy, which worked out great last night. And here's my pack, which is a Eberly stock Blue Widow, and that's the duffel that goes inside it, and which is nice to access all your things through a panel like that. And it just shoves inside the pack, and so it's multi-purpose. Of course, my view from my camp is the lake as the sun is setting. So last night it was windy. We'll say that. There's a little bit of a break right now, and I'm hesitating to crawl out of bed because that wind is not just windy, it is icy wind. And so I'm laying here being very warm. I didn't get cold last night, so I'm making up some coffee this morning from the comfort of my own sleeping bag. So I got to get up and pack camp and get ready for the day. All right, so I mentioned that it was windy last night. It gives you a little picture of how windy. You know, it's icy, it's cold, and in the middle of the night you don't want to get up, but sometimes you have to. And last night when I got up to perform a necessary, as soon as I got out of my bag and walked a few steps away, that wind took my sleeping bag right off the ground, and the sleeping pad that was underneath it went with it. Now, luckily, the sleeping bag wrapped around a rock, and it stuck. Whereas I'm up on a ridge last night, but I thought I lost my sleeping pad. It's just an inflatable mattress, you know. That thing was ready to go right off the cliff, and luckily, I was able to grab it before it got too far. This is the middle of the night. It's dark outside, and so it was a little bit of an adventure. So I got everything back in place. I put my rifle on it to keep it in place. Then and it is freezing. And it'll do my thing. Get back in bed, and wow, I was grateful to be in that sleeping bag last night. It was cold. I was toasty in there, so. It's nice. It's important to have the right gear when you're out here. They're gonna lead down a lonely road. And I touch the sky when all that's left is ash and bone. I'll go on alone. I've been afraid, been lost for days without the strength